Hey everyone, this is David over at Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-62.
Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas, this is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Good morning, Houston. Welcome to the Realty Ruckus out of the White Picket Realty Studios here in Houston, Texas. I am your host, Alan Hernandez, here with your co-producers, David Bonilla, Gibran Hernandez. We're here to talk to you guys about how to grow your real estate business here in Houston, give you some great tips, give you some advice, and make sure that you are crushing it in 2017, which is something that we're going to talk about here just a little later. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you guys about an event that I went to this week that I think was phenomenal, something that was not only needed for me as a real estate agent, a broker, and an investor, but I think everyone out there should be doing and going to these events. So I get a lot of people that don't really follow forecasters for some reason. They're like, well, you know what? What's the point of going to someone who's a forecaster? Can they really see into a crystal ball? The truth is they can't, right? No one has that crystal ball. But I got to tell you, there are really, really smart people out there, smarter than most of us, that literally do nothing else but study the market for a good reason, of course. And they're willing to share this amazing knowledge with us. And I think anytime there's an opportunity to go listen to someone who's willing to share that with you, it's worth your time and money for sure. So this week I went out and I had the pleasure of listening to Dr. Ted Jones. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy or not, but he is a phenomenal speaker. He's the senior vice president for Stewart Title. Of course, you guys know who that is.
Yeah.
And he's also their chief economist. So this is a man who spends a lot of his time making sure that the movements that his company, which is a huge company, that the movements that they're making are the right movements. And we got a chance to listen to him and talk to him about what his thoughts were on where the market was going, how things were going to go for us as you know, people who work in real estate every day. And you know what? I'm actually pretty surprised to hear that this year's not going to be so bad. It's actually planning out to be a good year. And it goes against what a lot of other people have said and thought, but I like it. I see that there is possibilities for this year to be a great year. And as long as we're aligned with the right buyer group and we're doing the right type of marketing and we're making the right type of changes, then this could be even one of the best years in real estate.
Really? So this guy's message was really, really positive.
It's positive in a lot of ways and eye-opening in others. So the one thing that was definitely eye-opening, he predicted an interest rate towards the end of the year of about 5.2.
Okay.
So it's a pretty decent increase.
What was my bold prediction on the interest rate?
Your prediction
I think
was
it
about
6.5.
7. Was this 7?
Something like that.
Yeah, yours was a little high, and it still may end up going that high. His prediction is
mine
based
was
on
bold.
numbers.
His
was like not that bold.
Yeah, his wasn't bold. There's a big difference here.
But you know what? His biggest prediction right now, and I know we talk about this and maybe harp on it a little bit, but this is why it's important, because this is not just coming from us. His biggest prediction is that the new buyer group will dominate the market, and you have to be able to cater to that buyer group. And you guys all know who I'm talking about. It's the millennials.
Yep.
Right? So we have 76 million baby boomers, and what's happening with them? They're getting ready to just, kind of
Boom.
Yeah, they're gonna boom, right? No better way to put it. But you know what we have right now is 83 million millennials that are 19 to 35. That's our new buyer group. There's 91 million that are 16 to 35. So imagine that. So if you're able to cater to those groups, and this is one of the things he really talked about a lot is understand who that group is, make sure that you're following them. He even, you know what's funny? By the way, this is a man in his 60s, right? Very well respected. And he asked everyone, hey, how many of you guys use Twitter? And maybe like 4 people in the entire place raised their hand. It was like there was at least 300 people in this place. And at least
Really?
and 4 people max were like, yeah, I use Twitter.
Maybe they're
And he
just
was
embarrassed.
and like one of his slides, and I thought this was awesome because one of his slides was like, well, here's my Twitter handle, you know, and you guys should.
You 4 guys go ahead and add
You guys
me.
go ahead and add me, and every one of you, the rest of you, get with the times. You know, this is like a 65-year-old man telling you this.
I disagree with that because the number 1 user on Twitter right now is Donald Trump, and he's up there in age too. So maybe Twitter's
that's
actually
funny.
flipping the other way around.
Maybe
it's
Twitter
becoming
is for the
a platform for
boomers now.
angry old people.
That's hilarious. Hey, we're about to go to break, but on the other side, I want to kind of get into what he talked about,
Yeah.
and you know, let's have a discussion on that.
Let's
what his
talk about
predictions were.
everything that he brought to the table because these are all great news for us, for the economy, for anyone who's in real estate. We'll talk about that when we get back. Take a quick break.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, co-producer David Bonilla, how's the weather going to be out there this weekend?
I like that. Co-producer David Bonilla.
Ooh.
Weather's
Just
going to be a
sounds
high of 76 today and a low of 64 with a 30% chance of showers. And it's going to be about the same throughout the weekend. We might get some rain. I'm hoping not, though.
I'm just wondering when winter is coming. Like, or did
The
like
Starks lied.
you know, like what's going on? Like did winter already come and go? Like June or I'm sorry, January 6th through
man.
the 8th.
You didn't know
like-
it's winter in Houston, January 2nd through January 8th. That was it.
I swear, man.
We
like,
had 6 days of
when-
winter.
I got to wear my jacket like once this year.
I walked out of the house yesterday and I put on this big old jacket because I thought it was going to be cold because it was really cold inside my house. and I opened the door, and it was just like hot and
I
muggy.
know.
It was horrible.
It feels like we're like in the summer right now, man. It's crazy. All right, so we want to get back into what we were just discussing, which was the Ted Jones forecast and what he felt was going to happen in 2017 for the real estate industry. So the first thing that he talked about was the fact that we needed to recognize who the predominant market was going to be. And we just talked about that. That's the millennial population, right? And then this was kind of interesting. He mentioned that Houston is at the top of the list. And you guys actually wouldn't guess how top I mean. I mean way up there, at the top of the list and top of population growth markets for millennials. Now, when you start saying millennial population growth markets, I'm thinking like hip cities, right? Like I'm thinking
hipster
like
cities like Austin or something like that.
That's the first thing I think about is like hipster, you know, I want to listen to like good jams and eat a lot of pizza. And
Is that how you imagine hipsters?
Yeah. I think a
They just
hipster
love
wears
sweet jams and pizza.
I think a hipster wears like, you know, like headphones, eats pizza, and listens to good jams all day.
So am I a hipster then?
Oh my God.
Hey, he does kind of he wears his headphones all day.
I wear my headphones all day.
You love pizza?
I love pizza, and I listen to good jams.
I think you're part hipster.
I think I met all three of your criteria.
That's hilarious.
So believe it or not, we're at the top 2 positions. We're
That's
number
incredible.
2 in the country in terms of millennial population growth.
That's great. And
Yeah.
there's what, like 150 million millennials
Yes.
coming up, about to be first-time home buyers.
Exactly. So that tells you who your next buyer group is and who you should be targeting if you're an agent out there. Now, a lot of people don't like to work with first-time home buyers. A lot of new agents actually kind of push away from that because first-time home buyers are a little bit more difficult to deal with, and it just means you got to go through a little bit further educational process with them.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that if you want to survive the next, 10 or 15 years in real estate, this is your population. This is the people that you have to cater to, and this is exactly what Ted Jones was saying. Believe it or not, we're actually ahead of Austin.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's very surprising.
Yeah.
I would have thought that Austin is very far
We're ahead
of
of Austin, which Austin is number 3.
Barely. They're number 3. But yeah, that's pretty incredible that we're ahead of them.
Yeah, and then ahead of Seattle, which is also a very popular, very millennial city. Very
millennial.
There's a lot of good jams out there for sure.
I'm surprised that there's no places in California on here. Because California is a very popular place to live, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm moving to California, either San Diego, San Francisco,
That's
Los
true.
Angeles." None of those made the top 10. That's pretty incredible.
I feel like some of that has to do with the cost of living.
So it's so high.
Yeah. Cost of living will greatly impact the millennial population because they're a little bit more standoffish in terms of spending. And it's different than the baby boomers.
Yeah.
Their consumerism, which we'll talk about here shortly, is different. But the one thing that we definitely want to get into is the soon to happen tax changes. Now, this is completely based on what our president-elect has promised. So we don't really know if this is going to happen for sure or not.
This is just one of the things that's been
These
talked about.
are one of the things that's been talked about.
Okay.
These are things that he's thrown out there. He's already kind of given us some ideas that he's going to break a few promises. So it wouldn't be surprising if he broke this one. But if he didn't, we would be looking at cutting our corporate taxes from 35 to 15%.
Yeah, which is a tremendous amount.
And I got to tell you guys, that's huge. That means that makes a big difference, not only for large corporations who have their plants or headquarters overseas, but even small companies like ours who can save on having to pay these crazy tax bills at the end of the year. It makes a big difference. Now, the other side of the coin is, will it happen? And if it happens, is it true that it can impact our economy?
Well, I mean, I think it has an immediate impact on the economy in terms of, I do think that our corporate tax rate is outrageously high. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the civilized world. So that is a problem. But at the same time, there's no proof that lowering corporate taxes actually increases economic stimulant. It's not a stimulant to the economy most times. A lot of people say, well, you lower the corporate tax rate, companies are going to go out and hire more. Well, unfortunately, what we've seen in the past is you lower corporate tax rates, people put more money in their own pocket.
Yeah, you're right. It goes one of two ways.
There's
Either
economic arguments on both sides.
the argument is
Yes.
you can go out and hire more employees and therefore grow the economy
And grow your business.
or the
Yeah.
CEO pockets an extra like 200 grand or 2-3 million, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it really depends on what sector that you're in.
Yeah.
I feel like in technology, they put more into innovation. It's the dying places like oil and gas. Let's just be honest. Oil and gas is on its way out. It maybe has 15 to 20 years of longevity left before it's on its way out completely.
According to Ted Jones, you might actually have to take those words back here shortly.
Really?
In fact,
Okay.
One of the
I'd love to
things
see
he
what he said.
predicted is that this was the absolute best thing that could have happened to the economy, the best oil slump we could have ever seen. And what he talks about is the fact that we went from an average of 41 days of what they call fracking, and the process of fracking, to down to 19 days. Fracking meaning the process of actually getting down to the oil, right? Digging down.
Okay,
and
so we
actually
become
achieve.
much more efficient.
So
is what
the
he's saying.
efficiency in the oil business has been cut in half. And that's a huge
You
determining.
mean it has doubled? The efficiency has doubled.
Well,
Yeah, but
that's right.
But that
The
has
time, I mean.
See, to me, that has nothing to do with lowering or raising corporate tax rates. That has more to do with, hey, we're not making as much money. We're getting slaughtered out there in the market. We got to find ways to cut the expenses and be more productive in the way that we do things.
And that's what they've done.
Yeah,
That's what they've done.
That's good for the economy, and that's good for everything overall in general.
Exactly. Now, here's one thing that I know we've talked about in the past, but unfortunately, we have to take a quick break. We've run out of time. We'll get to the rest of these as soon as we get right back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket. And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we will answer your questions on the air. Now, we're having a really good economic discussion right now based off of Dr. Ted Jones. And if you don't know who Dr. Ted Jones is, he is with Stewart Title. And that's all he does is analyze the economy, analyze what's going on the numbers, and then comes out and makes his predictions. They're not quite as bold as my predictions, but I would say they're probably
Maybe a little more accurate.
A little bit more accurate, but maybe not as bold.
His are data-driven predictions.
He's a little bit more data-driven on his predictions, but they're very good. And there's a lot of good things in here. He does see a big upturn coming in the economy in Houston again, which is fantastic. He sees a rise in jobs. Actually, I saw that through his report that there's going to be a pretty good rise in jobs in the year 2017, which is the opposite of what we saw in 2016. So that's great. But what other interesting things did you see on there?
You know, I know we're running out of time on this subject, and we want to get into talking about CRMs here shortly, but I want to just say, you know, it's kind of cool to see that all of the stuff that we've talked about on the show was reinforced by someone who is a professional at coming up with these analytics. And he talked about the fall of the rents in Class A apartments. So we've talked about that before. He also talked about and he said that could be as high as like 20 or 25%, by the way, which was scary.
On the rental rates
for Class A apartments.
For Class A, we've been saying that it's coming forever.
He talked about, because of that, you know, there's going to be a fall or basically a fall in their cap rates. So people that essentially went out there and bought at a high cap rate are now getting ready to start, you know, hurting.
Yeah.
Because their cap rates are going to fall tremendously. They could fall as low as 4%. So most people were buying at like 6 or 7%.
The Class A stuff. Yeah.
So they're going to take a good hit on that. And then, you know, he talked about this being the best oil slump that the nation could have ever seen. We saw that there's still parts of our country that are still hurting in terms of oil and gas, but the overall prediction is that because we've made it more efficient, because the overall industry has become more efficient, then we're going to see a rise again in the cost of oil. And so we're going to see some really interesting stuff happen this year, you guys. Some of this is subject to some of the new laws. Yeah. And
that's the only thing that I feel that a lot of his forecast and the other things that he's basing this on is whether, you know, Trump and this administration come through on what they said they'll come through with.
That's true. Some of it is. Other parts of it are just based on historical values. And the one thing that he ended with, and I'll end this segment with that, is he challenged us and encouraged us to use 2017 to think big. And those are the two words that he ended the entire event with, is go out there, use 2017 to catapult your business, learn where things are going. If you're not on social media targeting the new consumer, go out there, target the new consumer that's getting ready to buy all of your stuff, and think big. Don't go out there and think small, because right now, the way that businesses are growing is at a tremendous speed. And if we get some of these other things that are set to happen or have been told to happen, it's only going to help us. So that's we'll leave that at that. And if you guys want to hear more about what Dr. Ted Jones talked about,
or comment below with your thoughts and what you think about the
comment
forecast.
below. We'll be happy to talk to you guys more about it. Don't forget that you can leave any comments, questions, concerns below. If you're on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, we welcome you and thank you guys for joining us on the show. What you want to talk about, because we've run out of time on this conversation, if you guys want more information, we'd be happy to send you the information that we got from Dr. Ted Jones. And you're welcome to review that at your own time. But we want to talk about CRMs, and the reason why we want to bring CRMs into the picture is because yesterday we spent a couple hours teaching, coaching, and showing, along with the Eric Maya team of Premier Lending, on how to set goals for the new year, right? So we decided to sit down and show a group of entrepreneurial agents and investors. We had some great guests show up, like Judy Cook, phenomenal investor here in town. And she's set to come on the show, by the way. So
awesome.
we're excited to have her. Yeah, same thing for Eric. We sat down with this group of people and we said, this is what we suggest on building your business. These are the things that you must have. And one of the things that we found that not a lot of people
I was very surprised by this.
That not a lot of people have and are missing in their business is a CRM. And everybody, like, if you don't have one, you're probably thinking, well, I don't have that. And what the heck is a CRM? You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean? And what does it stand for? And why do I even need it? You know?
Yeah, I was really surprised by how many people didn't know even what a CRM was.
Yeah.
They equated, like Constant Contact, MailChimp, mail services as a CRM.
And well, for those who don't know, CRM means customer relationship management software.
That's right.
And it's there to, exactly what it says, manage your relationships with those customers.
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
don't realize that. People don't realize why you need some software to manage your relationships.
It's not just an email software. It's not just to send out emails to people, which is what a lot of people think is, that's where I do my email blast from.
Yeah, they think CRM is, I put my contacts in and then I send them email blasts.
Yeah, and it's
So
so
that's
much
different.
more.
So
Way different.
so having a MailChimp, MailChimp,
Yeah.
eye contact, and what's the other one?
There's a
Constant
lot of them.
contact.
Constant contact.
Okay, so having
yeah.
that software is completely different than having a CRM.
Correct, and that can be integrated in with your CRM, but your CRM really is your micro. It's where you're actually managing your clients, your customers down to the personal level, or the one-to-one level. And that's where you input your leads. Anything that comes in first goes into the CRM.
Okay, well, so let's talk about this. What type of information goes into the CRM as far as your contact?
It's definitely a way to follow up with people. So what we're using it for is anytime someone says I want to buy or sell, right? That they go into a CRM
Or
into
even
our
say, I'm
CRM.
thinking about it.
Even if they say I'm thinking about, and here's the thing is, and I ask people all the time, and we asked people yesterday, how many times has someone said, you know what, I really want to get into a house, or I'm thinking about selling, this house in the next 2 or 3 years, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, yeah, just call me when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's the wrong thing to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The right thing to say is, I'm ready when you are. I'm going to be following up for you for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you forget about these things, and if you're like, if you're that absent-minded agent, you'll make like a little note somewhere. Yeah, here's what I love. The agent that carries like a little notebook and makes a little note and thinks
they
that
write
they're
it
gonna
down.
like somehow remember to look back at that page, which was like 100 pages ago, 3 years from now.
Yeah, they're like, my friend Steve wants to buy or sell 3 years from now. And then they go back and they may follow up with him once or twice. And then after a year, they get forgotten about and you don't think about him anymore.
Well, that's what a CRM does. It's you writing down that note into your little notebook
Digitally.
and then a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, that little notebook keeps throwing that piece of paper in your face and saying, hey, don't forget to call your friend
Yep.
Steve who wants to sell his house.
And you can tell it, hey, throw that piece of paper in my face every month.
Yeah.
That way you remember to give your friend Steve a call or shoot him an email or
You're going to call
say
him
happy
for his birthday.
Yep.
You're going to send him a quick little note. You're going to
Yep.
do things that will allow Steve to keep you fresh on his mind so that when he really is ready 2 or 3 years from now, you don't miss out on that opportunity. You're capitalizing on opportunities at all times.
Absolutely.
So obviously one of the biggest pros to having a CRM is you never lose a lead again.
That's right.
You're done losing leads and ending up on sticky notes in the trash.
I tell you, I love it when I see an agent that keeps sticky notes, because that's an agent that I know could be making double the amount of money that they're making now, with no doubt in my mind.
Well, and that's not to say that they're one step ahead if they're using sticky notes, because there's people who use nothing.
Yeah.
And then it's like they receive a call, and if I remember to call back, I remember. And if I don't, then I don't remember. And this really applies to anybody, whether you're an investor or whether you're a realtor or a loan officer. You have to have some type of way that you're managing your customers.
By the way, just so you guys understand, we use a CRM for all parts of our business, for different, even for the different parts that don't correlate with each other. But there has to be a way to track every single lead. Anything that could potentially be a lead in the future, you have to find a way to digitally track them. Now, let's talk about what some of the best CRMs are, what people are using out there for what kind of expenses you plan on having, stuff like that.
And here's one of the things that a lot of people come and tell me is, I can't afford a CRM.
I don't want to hear that.
You can't afford not to have a CRM.
That drives me crazy, because yes, you can't afford not to have a CRM.
Exactly.
And there's no excuse for it, because there's a lot of free CRMs out there that do more than what most people need.
Yes.
So there's Zoho. That's a very powerful CRM, and it has a free version.
ZOHO.
ZOHO, and it has a free version that allows you to do quite a bit of things within the free version. Now, if you want to go a little bit bigger, there's always Infusionsoft, which is a little bit bigger. And then there's just a plethora of CRMs after that. There's Lion Desk, Top Producer, custom CRMs made by all sorts of different companies. And then you get into the big boys, which is like Salesforce.
Salesforce is the big boy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about Salesforce is that, yes, it is very expensive.
Yeah.
So if this is your first time dealing with the CRM, and it's very cumbersome, there's a lot of components.
A lot of setting up.
And a lot of setting up that goes into Salesforce. If this is your very first trial, getting into a CRM, that might be too much for you.
Yeah.
And I would really say, Salesforce for probably 95%, 99% of agents is not going to be the CRM for them.
I agree.
I would definitely recommend something much more like free or a small fee a month, like Line Desk or Zoho.
That's made directly for real estate. It's
Exactly.
already set up for you. There's not a huge setup fee in the beginning. So just so people get an idea, when you get a CRM like Infusionsoft or Salesforce, which are both of them are incredibly powerful, there's always a big setup fee in the beginning, which is anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000. Now, you don't have to pay that if you go to a company like LionDesk. You pay $30 a month, and you have a CRM that is completely catered towards real estate.
Exactly.
Now, will it have all of the exact same functionality as the bigger ones? No. But do you necessarily need all of that functionality?
No.
And the answer is no.
The biggest functionality that you need right now is to never forget who you need to speak to.
Absolutely.
That is what you need.
So you want your CRM, you want to be able to put tags on your people, keep customer notes, and allow your CRM to give you reminders.
Yeah,
That's right.
so you got to be able to create tasks, which any CRM can do, even the free ones. You have to be able to assign those tasks to whoever it is, because it may not just be you. You may have a team member who works on your team, and you may say, hey, I need you to do this task. I need you to go stick that real estate sign in the yard, not me.
Right.
But those are all reminders that you can put into the CRM once you convert that client into a customer.
One of our listeners made a really funny comment. Ruby Miranda, thank you for watching. She said, we're realtors, which means we're basically professional stalkers. So this is your professional stalker software. But another great tip or a little piece of motivation that she gave was, and she heard this from her real estate coach, is that it's our responsibility to follow up with the lead. It's not their job to follow up with us.
Without a doubt.
The fortune is in the follow-up.
You know, and it's so funny that you say that, because I know a lot of people who live there or who try to run their business that way. I'm going to wait for them to call me. I don't want to annoy them. I'm going to wait for them to call me.
I don't want to bother them.
That's the embarrassed agent. The embarrassed agent that doesn't want to make that phone call.
Works.
Yep.
That never works. You cannot build a consistent book of business that way.
Yep.
You may get the few that fall in your lap every year. You may be that agent that's doing 10 to 12 deals a year that they're falling in your lap, and it's people who are reaching out to you.
Yeah.
But that well dries up eventually.
Yeah.
You have to find a better way to manage your customers and reach out to them.
Well, here's the other thing. Let me even bring this thing one step further. It is proven that 80% of your business will come directly from people who you've already established a relationship with, therefore, quote unquote, previous clients.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine if you don't have a way to track those people. Imagine if you don't have a way to say, hey, previous client, you know that I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody else that wants someone awesome to help them? You know what I mean? Like, think about that. If you don't have that follow-up, if you're not consistently asking for those things, you're missing out on 80% of your potential business.
Which is huge.
It's huge. If you're not going out there and asking for that, if you're the embarrassed agent that doesn't want to ask your friends and family, best friends, high school friends, and let them know, hey, I'm never too busy for your referrals, you're missing out on 80% of your potential business.
And the CRM, all it's doing is helping you maximize that lead generation from those referral sources.
Exactly. So without a doubt, if you're doing anything this year, if anything at all, if you take anything from us, make sure you get out there and get a CRM now. Get started. If you need help, please make sure to let us know. We got to take a quick commercial break, but when we get right back, we're going to not only tell you more about the CRMs, but how to plan your day to make sure that you're being effective, the most effective as possible. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you ask your questions live on the air, we will answer them during the show. Now, we had a really good discussion about CRMs, and it amazes me how few people actually use CRMs in today's day and age. Everything is technological now,
I know.
but you still have people using the Rolodex and notebooks to keep track of and sticky notes to keep track of all their management. But another problem that a lot of people have is the inability to actually plan their day.
Yes.
I still know so many people who they wake up in the morning and they're like, what am I going to do today? Well, all I know is I'm going to be busy.
Yes.
And then they scramble the whole day.
I'm going to go be busy.
Yeah, they scramble the whole day like chickens with their heads cut off because they don't know how to plan their day. And they allow their day to plan them and not them planning the day.
Well, and so, by the way, let me just go back just a little bit and let people know that the reason we're talking about this subject today is because we realized yesterday during our gold training process that this was a big problem for agents.
Yeah.
Not only was
Hot
this a big
topic
problem for agents that are just getting into the business, but this was a big problem for even people who were closing.
Yeah, some big producers.
Big numbers.
Yeah.
Big numbers. We had some big names at this event, and it was surprising to see that they were having a hard time managing their time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And
one lady said, because Eric Maya said, well, we have a time management class for that. And she said, well, I don't have time to go to your time management class.
And it's true. You know, and you know, it's kind of funny because when you think about it, there are agents out there who do not have a life outside of work. I know because I've been there.
Yeah.
I know that. I've felt that pressure before.
One of the people that was at the course yesterday, they said that they work about 70 hours a week. They literally work from like 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day.
Every day.
Yeah, 7 to 9 every single day.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
No holidays.
No holidays.
No holidays. That they're just busting their chops, but they don't use any of these systems.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, wow, you could probably be doing all of that same amount of work in half the time or less.
And enjoying your life.
And enjoying your life rather than slaving away every single day. I'm sorry, there's no pleasure in that.
You know what? I got to tell you, there are parts of me that are workaholic. I actually enjoy what I do, which is why some people would look at me and say, "Oh, this guy's a workaholic. He, works his butt off." But there is no fun in doing everything work and no play.
Yeah.
And you have to find a balance in this industry, or you get burnt out. It tires you out.
In any industry.
In any industry.
Yeah.
Life in general.
Right?
It will run you over.
One of the important things that we talked about yesterday was right now that you're setting up your goals, going ahead and setting up your vacation. And for so many people in that room, you guys remember their faces? They were like, what?
The personal stuff first?
Wait, we're going to set up a vacation now? Yeah, you're going to set up a vacation now.
And that's the first thing we did. I think that's the first goal or plan that we set down, is setting your vacation.
When are you going to take some time for yourself to go out and feel good? Kind of bathe in your accomplishments. Go out and know that you've done something right, that you've worked towards that. When are you going to take the time to do that? And that can be broken down even further. Have you taken the time to go out and do that, today? Do you have something scheduled for that this week? You name it. But it's not just about working. It's also about having fun and enjoying what you're doing. And what's funny about that is that when you're doing that, it portrays to your clients.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, people read that in you. People look at you and they see confidence, and they see someone that's well, level-headed.
They can tell you have a purpose for that day.
Exactly. And it's not just, here, let me just go open up this quick door, which brings us into our first tip. And that is making sure that you, one, planning ahead the night before or the morning of, and we're talking about like 15 minutes, you guys. It's not like you're sitting down for hours, on your notebook doing, I don't know how people do it, but it's simple. It's just taking 15 minutes to think, hey, what are some of the things that I should be accomplishing tomorrow?
Yeah, and the important thing is to pick a time to do it. Some people prefer morning, some people prefer the night before, but pick a time and stay consistent.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you have that time, maybe the thing that you should be doing is picking about 2 to 3 things that you must achieve.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. These are things that are going to help your business grow. So 2 to 3 things. It doesn't have to be major projects, or it could be a portion or a tiny section of a major project, but 2 or 3 things that you're going to achieve the following day that are going to improve you or your business in some way. Imagine if you did if you did a 1% increase daily, it would only take 100 days for you to be 100% better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means you'd be 100% better 3 times a year. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're looking at just picking 2 to 3 things, very simple stuff.
Everything else is not a priority.
Everything else is not a priority.
Because a lot of times people start making a to-do list and they just start jotting every single little task or whatever it might be down. And then what happens? They feel overwhelmed and they don't get any of it accomplished.
That's right.
So this helps prevent that.
And
Just
so
2
if
or
you've
3
ever
things.
left work and you feel like, crap, I didn't accomplish anything today, that's why. And I know I've been there. I know what happens to everyone, but you can fix it. You can just, take 15 minutes that night, pick 3 things, know that you're going to achieve those things tomorrow, boom, and continue to do that each and every day. The next thing is stick to your plan. Yep. Don't let people change your plans. Don't let, unless it's a life or death situation, you're sticking to your plan. Those are the things that you must achieve. And here's what happens when for example, when you're a buyer's agent, right? What happens? You might be the new buyer's agent, and only new buyer's agents do this, by the way. You might be the new buyer's agent that gets that phone call and it's like 3 p.m. and you're set to go to the gym or do something fun, or you're done with work, and you get that phone call from that client that says, hey, I'm in, Spring, Texas, which for us is about a 45-minute drive. I call it Timbuktu. And I need you to come show me this house right now. First off, you don't even know if that person's qualified. You haven't taken
This is a new client,
this
not
is a
an
new
existing,
client,
yeah.
not an existing client. You don't even know this person's qualified, and all of a sudden, I see people do it. They'll drop everything and drive 45 minutes in the middle of traffic to go out there and open that door in hopes for that person to potentially say, yes, I'm gonna buy it, and here's a check. Yeah. And how many times does that actually happen? 0, because it's never happened for any of the people that I've seen do it. So think about that. Giving the power to someone else to dictate your day is a perfect way to not enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Right? So take that power back. Stick to your plan. Make sure that your 2 to 3 things are getting done. If it's in your schedule to go do something for yourself from 3 to 4 p.m., that's what you're gonna do from 3 to 4 p.m. And if someone calls you and says, hey, I need you to come show me this house right now, I would love to, but I'm booked right now. Yeah. And here is when I am available. You pick the time, and that's when I can meet you. You know what I mean? But it's not on their schedule, it's on your schedule. And Absolutely. That's how you're able to maintain that control and feel powerful about what you're doing each day. What is the next tip that we have for everyone?
Okay, well, tip number 4 is to practice time blocking. And what that helps you do is you're focusing just on one goal, one task for that respective time block.
Yes, and by the way, time blocking, not everybody gets a chance to do it. And when we started doing it, we started seeing some major increases in our production. And it's all because we do get busy sometimes, but busy work is not actually productive work.
Yeah,
sometimes,
busy works or even multitasking. People think because they're multitasking, they're getting more done.
Multitasking is actually less productive than just focusing on one thing. And I'll tell you guys, recently there was a time blocked on my schedule for developing a new follow-up procedure, right? And we had no clue how, what we were gonna do, how we were gonna do it. And Brandon looked at me and we time blocked an hour, and he said, well, if we don't know how we're gonna do it or how we're gonna get there, why are we even time blocking? I said, you know what? Time block it and let's sit there and stare at the screen until something comes to us. And that's what we did. And eventually something came out of it, right? But you time blocked. You just you set time aside. And I guarantee you, had we not done that, we wouldn't have got anything done. It would have just not happened. You know, so when you have something that you must get done, if those 2 or 3 things, you know, that you want to achieve are in the top of your priority list, make sure you set, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour aside for those. Shut the door if you have to and literally sit down. And if you just have to stare at the screen until it comes to you, that's what you do until you get it done, and then move on.
Yep.
All right. Tip number 5, because I know we're running out of time here. Let's talk about leveraging. And okay, here's the thing: when you're an investor, when you're a real estate agent, a loan officer, it doesn't matter who you are out there. Part of what you should be doing is creating a referral system for yourself. People who already trust you, people who already know you. But it's not just about saying, hey, when's the next time you're going to send me a home seller, a motivated home seller?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if someone's out there actually like sending you some business and doing things to help your business grow, there's 2 reasons why. It's either 1, because they really like you or care about you, or 2, because there's some kind of reciprocity expected.
Yeah, and the fact is, in this industry, the majority of your time probably should be taken up by building relationships.
That's right. It's a relationship business. And we talk about this all the time, because when we see transactional agents versus relationship agents, there's a major gap. There's a major difference in their income. The transactional agent may actually close more transactions, right? They may actually have more transactions on their books, but that doesn't mean they're making more money. Most transactional agents actually make less money on the same amount of transactions than a relationship agent. Transactional agents end up giving back credits, paying for mistakes. There's all these other issues, and they end up working for, pennies on the dollar.
Well, that usually
1%.
happens when you focus on quantity over quality.
That's absolutely right. Versus actually providing excellent service and making the money that you deserve to make, because you're going to provide that excellent service.
Okay, so what can you, we talked about most of your time is going to be taken up by the relationship. So what's something you can do to leverage your time when building these relationships?
Okay, well, the important part about that is that you should be making time in your schedule, blocking out time in your schedule to go out and do business development. Now, what does that actually mean? What does it mean to actually develop more business with someone? It just means develop your relationship with them. Find ways to know that person more. Good example of that is when your title agent brings you, whatever, cookies or food or whatever. What are they doing? What are they trying to do? They're trying to, make sure that you guys have a good relationship. They want to talk about things and maybe even have a personal conversation. How's life? How's the family? How's business? All of that stuff. So that's important for you to do in the same manner with your best clients. So going out and saying, hey, best referral source, such and such. Thank you very much for the business that you've sent me. Can I take you out to a quick lunch? And it doesn't have to be something fancy or expensive, but going out there and developing that business is important. Now, in terms of leveraging, if you have 100, 200, 300, 400, by the way, we want to cap them out right at that 400 range of personal relationships that you have, then is it okay to just say, you know what, I'm going to host a happy hour. Everyone that I know is invited.
Yeah, that's a great way to leverage your time. Instead of taking out 12 different clients on 12 different lunches, leverage your time by inviting them to one happy hour, and then you've saved time, you've saved money, and everyone probably had a great time.
It's crazy. So like one of the things that people ask me was, I don't have time or money to set up a happy hour. Well, you don't have time to not take your best referral sources out and treat them to things.
And Eddie Borrego just reminded us of your favorite line from yesterday's class is you got to get out there and socialize belly to belly.
So Eric Maya kept saying, well, when you get out there, where you're going to make the most money is when you're belly to belly in front of a client. I just kept thinking, I would hate to be belly to belly with anyone. Like I can't even imagine that. But that's the thing. Like if you're going out there and you're having that personal, time with people, you're going to get more business from them. But leveraging it is going to help you. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We got to take a quick break. We'll finish this conversation off when we get back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air.
All right, so let's finish off our conversation. First of all, we've had a phenomenal show already. We've talked everything about Ted Jones' forecast.
Yep.
We've covered CRMs. We've covered which CRMs to use, why, when, where, all the important aspects of using a CRM and why you should have one for sure, with no doubt about it, this year, this week. And then we've also talked about planning ahead, taking control of your time, planning your day, making sure that you're doing the right thing. And we give you guys 4 or 5 tips on how to properly do that, making sure that you're going out there and being efficient with your time. And I'll end that segment, by the way, with just saying that you can always make more money, but you can't make more time.
That's true.
And that's where people, I think, mess up and forget, and they think, I'm going to work endlessly, and eventually I'm going to get everything done. And the chances are you're not. You're going to need some help. You're going to need to grow. And that's what we talk about, hiring VAs, hiring an assistant, making sure that you're growing, but growing with the help of others, not necessarily just you doing everything or trying to be the jack of all trades. Which, by the way, means you're usually never good at anything. So, all right, well, let's talk about some other cool stuff that's happening in not only in the city. Let's talk about what's going on with like, for example, the playoffs. Like, we have some amazing times coming up right now. Right?
Well, I don't know.
Right?
Well,
how are the boys doing?
The boys are doing good. I'm worried about your Texans.
Oh boy, how awesome would it be if it would be like an all Texans Super Bowl? Like, how cool would that be? By the way, I read somewhere last night that someone was leasing an apartment or like a condo near the Galleria for $10,000 a night for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I have an apartment in the Galleria, and I'm thinking about renting it out now.
Well, for the sake of argument, this one came with a Tesla, and it also came with a full-time cook and clean.
Man, for $10,000 a night, yeah. I'll give him a full-time cleaner. I'll give him a Tesla.
Yeah,
you'll be the full-time cooker and cleaner.
Yeah. I'll make sure that their ending is real happy.
Oh boy,
I'm kidding.
Hey, you know what? seriously, if I think this is a great opportunity if you do have an apartment nearby for you guys to sage it and lease it. Try the Airbnb route. It's a great way to do it, and we have a phenomenal year lined up for that, and I think everyone should take advantage of that.
Definitely.
Let's talk about the playoffs. Where we at?
Okay, yeah. So this Saturday we have the Seahawks at Falcons, and later that night, prime time, it's going to be the big game for us, Texans at Patriots.
Ooh.
Do we have any bold predictions, BB?
Let's go some bold predictions.
Let's go. We'll
BB's
start with
bold
Seahawks and
predictions.
Falcons.
All right, Seahawks and
Falcons.
Falcons. What's the line on this one?
I don't know.
All right, the line on it. I believe it's Falcons
I'm an honest
-4
man.
or -5. Right now on this one, I'm going to say that I'm going to take the Falcons. I like the Seahawks, but they've been very inconsistent this season. Russell Wilson hasn't quite looked like himself. He's looked like a mirror of his previous self.
Boy, you guys didn't know this was a sports podcast,
well,
too.
you didn't know that, but you know what?
It's actually
Nate
Atlanta
Hare's gonna
-5.
hate you for saying that, by the way.
Atlanta -5.
Atlanta -5. I take Atlanta. I take the points -5. And Atlanta with the win for sure.
Okay,
Wow.
and the one everyone wants to hear about here
Somebody
in
tag
Houston.
Nate Hare to this conversation so he can hear BB make that bold prediction.
Oh, Nate Hare?
Yes, he's
a
he'll be giving you a call here
huge
shortly.
Seahawks fan.
Nate
BB
Hare from
just
Quest
predicted.
IRA, by the
What
way,
was
you
your
guys.
prediction?
Atlanta easily.
taking
I
Atlanta.
think they'll cover
taking
the spread. I think they're going to win by at least 14. To be honest with you.
All right, what's the next one?
Well, the Patriots. Texans at Patriots.
Texans at Patriots.
Okay,
now
let's
this
talk about
one,
that one.
see,
This
the
one's
NFL.
interesting.
The NFL has got the Patriots as
Yes.
-16.
Woo!
Okay,
Okay.
so explain to the crowd that doesn't know about lines what that means.
So that means that the Vegas believes that the Patriots will win by at least 16 points.
yeah, so when he says -16 to the Patriots, they're saying that they're handicapping
Yeah.
them.
Even if you
points.
subtracted 16 points from their final score, they would still be the Texans, is what they're saying.
Yeah, basically. So this one's interesting because I love the Texans. I think they have a great defense. I think that the offense actually was half-assed decent last week, but the Patriots are just known to smash people in the playoffs. 4 out of their last 6, they've won by at least 17 at home. So I don't think the Texans.
So what
a leg
what are
to
you
stand
taking
on.
on this one? What do you suggest everyone else takes on this?
I think it'll be closer than the 16, but I still think the Patriots will pull it off.
Woo! You guys heard it. You guys heard BB's bold predictions on the Realty Ruckus.
Yeah,
I'll give you guys
no,
his
no,
cell
no,
phone
that-
number if you guys want to send him any hate mail. You're welcome to do
Hate
that.
mail. Hold on. We got some more games.
Yeah.
There's some really good ones this weekend.
Steelers at Chiefs.
The
I'm taking the
Steelers
Chiefs on that one.
At the Chiefs. Okay, so look, the Chiefs, they were really, really hot, but you cannot put a bet against Ben Roethlisberger and Le'Veon Bell at this point in the playoffs. They are playing tremendous football. To be honest with you, the Steelers are the biggest threat to win the Super Bowl right now. Not the Patriots and not the Cowboys. It's the Steelers the biggest threat right now.
Chiefs are favored by 1.5.
No,
so I'm guessing you take
Oh
Pittsburgh.
yeah, I eat the point. I take the points and I take the Steelers.
All right. And the game everyone wants to hear about, Green Bay at Dallas.
The Green Bay at Dallas. Okay, so we're talking
Dallas
about
is favored -4.
The
-4.5.
Cowgirls
there you go.
versus the Packers.
All right.
So,
and let me tell you this: that 2/3 of the money is on Green Bay against the spread.
Oh, I already know. I've already looked that one up. That one's an interesting one for me. So here's the deal: Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott have both been incredible this season. They've been outrageously good, but they are going. And they're going to play, and they're not going, they're going to play a Packers team at home that is just red hot. Aaron Rodgers is playing like the old Aaron Rodgers. It's not the same team that they faced in October. I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys, coming off of a bye week, are going to be prepared for the game. I truly do believe the Packers will make it a very close game, maybe even pull it off by a field goal. I still think Dallas takes it, though, with the possibility of a field goal win by the Packers.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
a
one. All right,
good
let's
game
get
to
to the
watch.
events. Let's get to
Let's talk
real
about
estate
actual
events.
real estate events.
Okay.
What do we have coming up?
All right, so January 24th, Capital Concepts is bringing back their networking mixer with Patton Law Firm from 5:30 to 8:30 at LaGrange. So we hope to see you guys out there. Remember, you can find all this information on the Houston Real Estate Events page. Just search at Houston Real Estate Events.
We'll drop a link below, but make sure you guys are going out there and liking the page so that anytime we post new events, it automatically pops up to your feed.
Exactly. And 2 days later, January 26th, The Power of Social Media, hosted by the Maya team. This one's going to be up at Los Cucos in Kingwood, and they're actually bringing in a social media expert to talk to realtors about how they can effectively use Facebook and other social media to gain business, basically.
Perfect. And it's something that a lot of people are being left behind on right now. I know it's something that even I struggle with. You guys get me on this like Instagramming, Insta chatting, and all this Insta other stuff. Like I don't even know any of that stuff.
Insta do it all.
So I just like want to know which ones I have to do and how to do them. So I would definitely go out to that. Plus it's Los Cucos. Who doesn't like Los Cucos in Kingwood? So it's good food, good people, by the way.
Yeah.
The Maya team is phenomenal. You guys definitely want to go out there and check them out. What's the other one?
Last but not least, the big one, February 8th, White Picket Realty and Jet Lending Real Estate Happy Hour. This is going to be at St. Arnold Brewery.
I'm excited for that.
Yes, sir. 6 to 9 p.m. Free cold beer, free food, and great networking.
Why
with over
do we even
200
have
plus
this meeting though?
professionals.
Like, what is the point of even like us like buying everyone in town a beer and free food? Like, why do we even do this? Like, it doesn't even make sense. What's the point?
Hey, they say that your network is your net worth.
There you go. Exactly. And this is an opportunity for you guys.
All right, Nate Hare.
Hold
on, real quick. Nate Hare dropping in Seahawks all the way, 34-27 Seahawks.
34-27.
We're going to see.
Just had to get Nate's prediction in.
We'd have to see an offensive production that hasn't happened all season from the Seahawks. Sorry, Nate. You guys are out this
I'm going to
weekend.
drop the link for that happy hour, by the way, guys.
Yes, guys, make sure that you guys register for that event. It's going to be a phenomenal event. We can't wait to see you guys next week. Don't forget that the Realty Ruckus is on Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Your co-producers, David Bonilla, Gibran Hernandez. We're here to make sure that your business is growing every single day, that you're going to crush it this year. Keep up your ruckus. We'll see you next time.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.